It is quite clear that bears are in control right now. But not only that, I'm bringing you the show today as the speed up can happen at any point. And me personally, I'm getting ready for my scenario 1 trade setups. I'm getting ready for the flush and a very big bounce to come. I want to show you guys what that looks like and the areas of where I see the bounce going. I also then want to speak around scenario 2. What don't we want to see as we start approaching the downside? What can give us early warning signs that, hey, maybe we do want to play the $40,000 scenario out? I want to speak around why I'm also setting trades on Ethereum as well as Solana. And I'm getting ready now for the entries I've been waiting for multiple weeks. And I want to explain to you guys why. I'm Sheldon. Welcome to Sniper Trading. Smash up the like, join the family, hit the subscribe button. Let's jump in. So the first thing here is let's just see our bearings of where we're at. We have now officially rejected. We spoke around the rejection at 65,000. Okay, and we have had a solid rejection. Not only that, we've started breaking the short-term trends, right? So therefore confirming that the drop we're seeing right now is pretty real. We are seeing a slight increase in volume as well. We're not seeing the high time frame volume just yet, but again, we're very likely looking for a sell into a buy to create high time frame volume, right? So that means we're still at risk now of volume still incoming, right? Which means a speed up drop at any point. But because we lost these levels, we have to treat it as simple levels of stairs, right? We were making higher lows going up, and we've now officially made our first low, which means that right now on the midterm, what we could see over the next 24 hours or so, right, is if we do want to see a little test up or a little bounce, let's say, from the market, right, where bears are looking to hold is 2 areas. 63,200, which is very likely the level they're going to hold. And then I do have a possible push to 64,000 because I'm seeing a little bit of liquidity being formed, right, specifically on the 48-hour. Right, you're starting to see a little bit of yellow start to form in these areas. Maybe it's a little flush, right? That does not, however, turn me bullish just yet. Now, I want to zoom out here and show you guys, this is the key trend now, right? We have 2 big scenarios coming into play here, right? The first one is the higher low. The second one is the lower low, right? So from here, higher low up to 70,000, or we're looking at the lower low. And then third option is we obviously sit down here and get very bearish for the bad scenario. Okay, but these are the first 2. For as long as we are holding 57,500, that area, those 2 scenarios are very much the ones I'm paying attention to. And it gives me a very clear area of where to protect myself or invalidate that type of thesis. Okay, but when it comes down to this over here, it's vital that I really look for 2 important highs. So to show you this over here, trading, we just have to follow what the chart is doing, right? Here's a high, here's a secondary high, right? If all of a sudden we make a new high, it's quite clear then, right, that we could see that push up, which means that these 2 highs have officially given me the key trend, right? The execution trend. To say that you have 2 plays here, this one will indicate if it's a higher low bounce. Okay, not only that, even if we have the higher low, it will indicate that it's a real bounce, right? So what I mean by that is if we decide for somehow holding these areas and we bounce up here and we break here in the next 7 days or 10 days or so, that's the long, right? That for me is the play to say, hey, higher low here, we're pushing up to this trend here, and there's a good chance this could be the possible lows, right? That's the first one. But for as long as we have not broken that trend, I have to think about the big area down here. Now, it's the same thing. What I want to see going down, right, is the first thing is as this is coming down, I want to see a buy up, and I definitely want to break this trend, right? This trend is vital to break. This is the shorter term trend that we are tracking, basically a trend tracking the last 10 days or so, 10 to 14 days. Okay, but that's the first one. So if I see any bounce and I've longed a certain area, I want to see us break this first, right? Then secondly, I want us to come to the main trend, which is sitting at 70 to 71,000. Okay, so it'll be quite important that the bounce needs to be a real bounce, and we will know what a real bounce looks like. Okay, but very much something that absorbs this over here, and this will be a great sign, right, that it's real, and it's very likely we are pushing up to these areas. But now let's go back over here and just speak around the plays. Now, I'm looking at the first main scenario that the lower low is important, right? Again, here's USDT dominance, right? Confirming everything right now, and very likely we do at some point push up over here. And also, if the market really wants to now, it's very likely to do it at a very quick stage as well. That is a scenario. The second one is it's going to drag it out a little bit over a couple of days. and then fall like a cliff at some point, right? So if we slowly creep down, so again, if this chart's going up, markets are bearish, this going down, things are bullish, but there is that scenario of Bitcoin slowly trickling its way down, and then a big absorption and some type of move like that, okay? But the first scenario, and again, I'm looking at stock markets, I'm looking at markets all over, is the capitulation flush, right? Is we are now here, and we got this last line of support. If we start losing this over the next couple of hours, we're going to start falling pretty quickly, right, to this area here. Now, this is where I'm personally executing. Now, I want to show you guys a couple of things. So last couple of shows back, I did tell you guys I'm taking a short on Bitcoin to pass some funded accounts. Just want to show you guys here. My key is to use a bunch of tools to unlock more capital, but I am trading on multiple accounts. Okay, but here's a short. Took a nice short on that retest that we spoke around. Okay, play down to pass an account and then ultimately long the market, right? But I want to show you guys all the limit orders that I've now set, and I've set them on 3 tokens. I've set them on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, right? Those for me are the main ones that I'm paying attention to. I feel there's a lot of time with the other alts to accumulate them and build positions once we have seen a solid bounce. Now, again, this is the big weekly Fibonacci 618, right? So if we zoom out here and we see this, there's the main trend line coming all the way back from 2022, right? There is the big Fibonacci zone sitting right on that trend line, okay? There's horizontal, many reasons on a high time frame why that can be a bounce zone. It's slightly lower than the last 2 lows, getting the whole market to flip bearish. Very likely that that could be a strong zone, right? Anything below that, and if we see a weekly close within this week, within next week, below that $56,000 zone, we start then looking at 41,000. Right, which gives me a good idea of when I'm looking to long here with the protection zone anywhere between 56 and 57,000. Me personally, I'm going 57,000, okay? But what I'm also doing is trading capital, okay? Because if you look at the risk from these areas here, looking at 2 to 3%, right? Excluding leverage, whatever leverage or that for those used, but nonetheless, the risk is pretty decent, especially looking for a bounce. And I just want to confirm what that bounce kind of looks like, right? That bounce for me, let's see if I've highlighted this one over here for you guys, right? This is what the bounce looks like for me. This is what the real bounce looks like for me, is a bounce up to 72, 73,000. Then I do see possibly something like this. We'll see. Maybe it's on top here. Maybe it's below here. We'll see. But that is the real bounce that I want to see come into play. And again, if you kind of look at long in this area, there's the risk, right? Versus there is the reward, right? You can see it's an understandable reason of where we're wanting to take trades, right? But going back over here, I'm going to be entering, however, 50% of capital. The rest I'm going to execute on the break of this trend once the bounce is confirmed. So I'm going to take my first major bet here, massive high time frame reasons of why I'm doing so. Here I've set the limit orders just to show you guys. This is what my personal limit orders are sitting like on many accounts, right? I got 58,500, 58,200, and I got a cheeky one at 57,900. This is getting very close to support. Right, so if this hits, that's good, but there's also a chance there that it won't hit. So therefore, I'm splitting up my limit orders like this, okay? And that is where my protection zone is happening. 50%, the rest I'm looking to execute on this trend. On the break of this trend, then seeing strength. Now, another thing that I just want to highlight to you guys here too, right? You know this RSI, I spoke around the RSI and divergence. So what I'm starting to notice on the RSI is the RSI is moving very slowly down. The chart's moving aggressively and fast. Which means if we look at this here, there's a very good chance if this spikes down, that this is going to remain as a higher low. And that is going to be divergence, right? And that's a sign that we want to see for a strong reversal. Now, jumping back over here, I'm not only just looking at Bitcoin, right? For now, the only thing that flips me to change this thesis right now, right, will be a break of this trend, but will also be a push above 66,000. That's when things start to look bullish. This area here, this above a new high, right? I won't specifically buy that break, but if I see a break and something like this, this is where I'm pretty much being interested. Okay, and again, this is support, guys. If we lose this, fast acceleration. Right, now I want to quickly jump over to ETH and show you guys what I'm seeing here on ETH. There is my limit orders and where they are sitting on ETH. I'm also seeing a slightly lower low on ETH. ETH dominance is starting to drop, right? So I got $1,540, $1,495, $1,449. Those are the areas, and 1,384, 1,390 is kind of the areas on where I'm protecting. 50% of those positions over there. When it comes into Solana, right? My SOL positions are sitting here. SOL's losing trend now, which means, yes, SOL's been looking pretty good. Oh, it's actually close. So SOL's loss of $68 is where it's going to speed up. So where I'm sitting with limit orders 61, 58, and 55. To show you guys, this is where they are sitting, right? So there's SOL, right? If we jump into ETH, there's the ETH limit orders, right? And we obviously jump into Bitcoin, and there is the Bitcoin limit order sitting over there. Right, that for me is the clearest. Be patient for the trade, be patient for the setup, and prepare for that. Altcoins, again, as a whole, if I look at alts and just go to the weekly, right, just highlighting that the 618 is over here, slightly lower than the wick that we made on in February. That dropped to the downside. So that for me is where there is also a lot of altcoin support, right? Again, when it comes to just S&P and that, just to show you guys quickly, right, we have lost trend. I'm not seeing a new break of high trends or resistance just yet. This is very likely to continue down over the next couple of days. We could actually see a speed up. If we see this lose trend pretty soon, as what we're possibly doing now, we could see a speed up at any point now. All right, so that is what I'm paying attention to. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow for a stream. That for me is the clearest trend, and why I'm putting limit orders in now, because we can go to bed and wake up and the market could have capitulated. We're at that point at any moment now. A fast capitulation or drop can happen. Thank you for watching. Lots of love. Bye-bye.